It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day for a neighbor. Welcome back to the channel. Ooh. Time for a new mini-series. We've got a couple of them firing right now.
Do. We're just like, ideas coming.
Yeah, they're just flowing like freaking wine or Hefeweizens. We got a good Hefeweizen straight out of Germany today. We're excited. New mini-series time. We went through all of our consoles in the game room. We did the most expensive games for each console we have hooked up. Yeah. Now, we're going back to the beginning, and we're going to reverse engineer it and do the cheapest games we have on every console. And we did get a comment recently of, why would you do that? Who would want to watch that? But I think the idea behind this is there are some amazing games that don't cost a ton of money to show that the retro gaming hobby isn't as crazy expensive as some people say.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be crazy. Today we're going to focus on the NES, and there are a lot of cheap NES games. All the games we're going to talk about today are under $10, and they're all amazing games. Yeah. They're all fun. Some of the other consoles we're going to talk about, the prices are a little bit more expensive, but you can get retro games for cheap if you really want to. Now, disclaimer in this series, we are going to exclude sports games because we don't want to be like, here's Madden. Here's Madden.
Yeah.
So in this episode, like, we're not going to talk about Blaze of Steel. We're not going to talk about 10-Yard Fight, John Elway's quarterback.
Ice hockey.
Those all would have made the cut, but they're sports games. So we're going to talk about real games, if you will.
And we love our sports games.
We love them, and they're fun.
We didn't want these episodes to get very redundant. So sports games excluded. Let's jump in to number 10. The game's pretty rad.
Wow, this game is pretty rad.
Yeah, number 10 is Rad Racer. So if you are a fan of the outrun-ish genre of video games, Rad Racer is where it's at, and this game gets really tough.
Rad Racer is super cool. You just picked up the second one. The second one is worth a little bit more money. But this guy coming in, we're doing loose prices because that's how we collect NES. $9.07 for Rad Racer, which that's a hell of a deal if you like those types of racing games. Yeah. And this game is a longer game. You can play it for hours. It's not like... It's fun.
Easy to pick up and play. Difficult to master if you beat it. You know, the game gets really tough at the end.
Towards the end, it gets really tough.
My girlfriend just beat it. It's a childhood game of hers, and it was really fun watching her go through it. And now she's working on the NDR on it. So
she's going to do an NDR?
Yeah, a lot of Rad Racer has been in my life, but really cool game. Only $9. It's all downhill from here as far as price goes. So the NES is loaded with cheap games. Let's keep the train rolling.
Number 9, most cheapest game, is that the right way to say it? Most cheapest game in our collection is one of my favorite games of all time. And that's Dr. Mario, coming in at $9.05 for a loose copy. I love this game so much. It's just a puzzle game with pills.
Yeah.
Pills are good. Pills are good.
Pills are good. Pills are good.
I play it in the arcade every time I see it. I love firing it up on the NES. I have it on the NES Mini. I play it all the time. The music's great. You gotta play chill.
Yeah.
Like, it's just awesome, dude. It is so... Oh, dude.
I love it. You can have infinite fun with this game. This is a game that can be played over and over and over and over again. You just try to beat your own score.
Yeah, and it's fun because you can beat your own time. You can. I always start at like level 15 or 20 just because I'm too good at the game. You know, you gotta. You know. But then what's cool is you can do multiplayer. You know, so versatility's there. I love puzzle games. So Dr. Mario, this is like a must-have.
I think this is a staple for the NES collection, and to be only $9.05 is pretty rad.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Number 8, a game I wish I liked a little bit more than I do, but it did what I consider to be a cardinal sin in retro gaming. It made the up button jump.
Yeah.
Aside from that, Russian Attack is pretty dang cool.
Yeah,
Konami game, $9.02.
The pun is great.
Yeah.
Russian Attack. We get it, dude. It's the 80s, 90s. Yeah. We get it. Coming in at $9.02 for this bad boy. This game is fun, run and gun, but it is annoying that up is jump. Like that. Why'd they do that?
Still a good game, but that's like the one thing that when I go back to it, I'm just like, why?
Why'd you do this? You're making other amazing running gun games, Konami. Why'd you...
But not a bad game. $9.02. This isn't a must-have in a collection, but if you've got a substantial NES collection, most people have.
Yeah, most people have it. Next up on the list, are you a NARC? Because we're going to talk about it. NARC. This game is really fun. Coming in at less than $9, $8.48. Super cheap for this game. Arcade port. This game is really unique because it's like a beat 'em up, but then there's other elements in it. And my favorite part of the whole game, the dogs hump you.
Yeah.
The dogs hump you.
This game on the NES, the There are a lot of games that got ported from the arcade that ended up looking different than the arcade, but playing better on the NES in some instances. This isn't one of them.
This is not one of them.
The arcade game is so cool. The NES games, it's kind of magoo. It's fun. I don't think it's a must-own, but it is a cheap title. $8.48, NARC. I'd opt for the arcade version.
Yeah, for sure, but the dogs still hump you.
Coming in at number 6, a Capcom classic.
Ooh, a Capcom.
Now, this is a game that I think everybody should have in their collection, and that is Commando.
Commando.
Oh, yeah.
This game is so awesome.
And it's not Bionic Commando. It's just straight up Commando, run and gun action, $8.12.
Yeah,
just a
top down.
classic feeling NES.
This is like an OG NES game. Like the cover is like that generic Capcom iconic blue Capcom logo with the lines. This is a game that I think is a must own, especially for this price, $8.12. If you like run and gun games, Commando's great.
Absolutely.
Next up on the list, we got a 3-for-1. 3 games on 1 cart?
Let's go.
Wow, that's a multi-cart back in the day, but this is officially licensed. That is the Super Mario Bros. / Duck Hunt / Track and Field for $7.26. You get 3 games in one. Do you need Track and Field? No. But Super Mario Bros. And Duck Hunt, great.
Staples.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everybody that had an NES had probably the Mario Bros. And Duck Hunt, but there were some kids that had this version.
It's kind of wild because we're going to talk about another combo later that's very similar to this that's cheaper. But if you want to get 3 games for cheap and you kind of like Track and Field, this might be worth picking up. I'd rather go with the dual pack because it's cheaper, and we'll talk about that later. But Super Mario Bros., Duck Hunt, Track and Field, $7.26. That's pocket change.
Moving on to number 4, one of my favorite comic book movies of all time, Dick Tracy. And Dick Tracy on the NES. It's not the best movie licensed game, but I think it's pretty serviceable. I like the game.
It's pretty cool. I've only dabbled with it, but you love Dick Tracy. This game is really fun. Coming in at freaking $7.19 for this bad boy. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a game that gets dunked on a little bit, and I wonder how much time people have put into it. So again, far from perfect.
Yes, it's not. Yeah, it's not like Batman.
Being a Dick Tracy fan, I always, even as a kid when I'd rent it, I was like, this game's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think if you like the movie and you like Dick Tracy and you've never played it, check it out.
Yeah, for sure.
It does kind of scratch that itch. Next up on the list, Tiger-Heli. Do you like shmups? Because I do. Do you like helicopters? Because I do. Tiger-Heli is amazing. $7.04 for this. Is it a simple shooter? Simple shmup? Yes. But is it still fun? Yes.
It is.
I like it.
Another game that gets dunked on quite a bit because the arcade version of the game is far superior.
Yeah, it is better. But
and when you line up all the shooters on the NES, it's definitely mid to bottom tier, I would say. So crazy fun, no, but I like Tiger-Heli.
I like it. It is simple and like it is like an early NES game. And that's what it feels like graphics wise and stuff. But for $7, if you're on a budget and you like shmups, you can still scratch that itch instead of like trying to get Gradius, which I think is like 30, 35 or something like that. So, but Gradius is great, you know. But Tiger-Heli, $7.
It's a poor man shmup on the NES.
Yeah, it works.
Number 2, I've already kind of talked about this, but one of the cheapest games you can get on the NES for under $7 is Mario and Duck Hunt. The combo cart.
The combo cart that everybody had.
Yeah.
Like, this is wild. It's wild that this is cheaper than the 3-pack, but I guess there is more games on that, so that makes sense. But coming in at freaking $6.98 for one of the first game I ever played was this combo pack. I had Duck Hunt and Super Mario Bros. Amazing versatility. You got the light gun, you got the zapper, and then Mario Bros. This is a must own.
Yeah.
For if you have an NES, you've got to own this. And it's less than $7. That's so insane.
And with Duck Hunt, you kind of have 2 variants, right? Because you have Duck Hunt.
But then you have the clay shooting.
Yeah, the clay shooting, which I always liked that.
Clay shooting's fun. I always forget about the clay shooting.
It's super fun.
Duck Hunt is really fun. We just added, I work at a barcade, side bar, and we just added a Duck Hunt arcade machine.
Nice.
And it's so fun because there's a zapper.
What are the guns like? Are they like the zapper?
It's like a big orange revolve.
Okay.
So it's a little bit different than the zapper. It doesn't make that ding ding noise that the zapper makes.
Yeah, that little spring.
Yeah,
sound,
the little spring, which I do like. But for less than $7, this is a must own. If I just had one NES game, this is probably one of the ones. Like, it is amazing.
You gotta have it.
And our number 1 cheapest NES game in our collection, loose, is Sky Shark. We're going up to the sky, and we're a shark, but they belong in water. That doesn't make sense. This game is less than $6, $5.43 for this. Again, if you are on a budget and you like shooters, this game is awesome. It's a tie-in game.
Yeah.
This game is really fun. Again, it's not the best shooter. The graphics are a little dated, but it still is serviceable and it's still fun. And for less than $6, that's a hell of a deal.
Yeah, this game's better than Tiger-Heli, in my opinion.
And it's cheaper.
Yeah, this is kind of what I would put in that. Tiger-Heli, I'd say mid if you like it, but probably lower tier shmup on the NES, but it's still serviceable. Sky Shark's more that mid tier, in my opinion. I like the game a lot. Taito game, they typically don't put out crap. And again, far from the best shooter, but Sky Shark's pretty serviceable game.
Yeah, and I was shocked when we were looking at prices. I was like, damn, why is Sky Shark that cheap?
Must have just had an insane install base.
Yeah, but like a lot of people don't really talk about it, But I mean, it is middle of the road shmup, but for that price, that's awesome. And like just looking at this list, it's like if you're on a budget and you're trying to collect for the NES in 2025, that's 10 games. If you get the combo, 15 games.
Well under $100.
Well under $100. So that's awesome. And you got a bunch of different types of games: shooters, run and guns, platformers, puzzle games. Like beat 'em ups. That's a great list.
And just real quick on the sports games, which we are excluding from these lists. I mean, you've got Blades of Steel, $4.99. Which is just a must-own NES game.
Oh, yeah.
You've got Kings of the Beach, which one of my favorite volleyball games of all time.
Up to 4 players on the NES.
What's it, $6-7?
Yeah, that's $6.54 for Kings of the Beach, which that's incredible. 10-yard fight, John Elway's quarterback. Those are a little rough, but if you like sports games, they're fun. Ice hockey.
Ice hockey's good.
Ice hockey's good. And then I'm sure you can get golf.
There's tons of that type of stuff well below this. And again, this is just from what's in our collection.
Yeah, this is the 10 cheapest in our collection.
There are so many affordable retro games out there in this hobby. And we're going to do this for every console in the game room to prove the point. Not everything's going to be a ripper, but there are some nuggets in there. To me, it's of our list. You got to have the Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt.
Yeah,
you got to have Rad Racer. You've got to have Dr. Mario. You probably need Commando in there. I mean, there are some must-own titles.
Yeah, like half of this list is must-own, which is wild, and they're all under $10.
Yep.
So that's super sick. Obviously, if you're collecting CIB, that's when the money's getting in. But we just make our own cases, and it's super affordable, super cheap. But before we go, we got to talk about this little treat. This is a fun one. We're drinking the Hofbrau Hefeweizen.
Yeah.
This is an imported beer from Hofbrau Munchen. I don't even know where it's from. Munchen.
It's an import.
It's an import. I think it's from Germany, which is so cool. 5.1%. We love Heffies. What do you think of this bad boy?
This is just a true, legit Hefeweizen. There's only a few breweries in our area that make good ones. Topping Goliath makes a good one. Exile makes a good one. A lot of people try. A lot of people, I wouldn't say fail, but they don't come close to the quality of something like this.
It's a really hard bear to make.
Yep.
Because you got to there's chunks, it's unfiltered, there's the clove and the banana, the yeast. This is just a straightforward. I just looking at the bottle, I was like, this is gonna be good. You don't have to worry because you're like, oh, this is gonna be a real one.
Yeah, for sure.
So this is so good. We had a 6-pack. This is the last of it.
Yeah,
we've drank the entire 6-pack.
Yeah, for sure. Top shelf. No complaints. I mean, I don't know if you have anything else to add.
No,
it's right in line with what it needs to be.
It's good, and we've talked about Hefeweizens before, but when it comes in a bottle, you pour about 3/4 of it, swirl the bottle to get to the chunks in there, and then it makes a nice tunnel in the glass. I love this style of beer, Belgian-y, especially on a hot summer day. It's just crisp, refreshing,
fantastic.
It's light. Yeah, Heffies are good.
Well, you made it through episode 1 of this mini-series, the 10 cheapest games in our collections for all the consoles. Today was the NES.
Yep.
And then we're going to move on. The next one's going to be the Super Nintendo. I think we got the Genesis after that. It's going to be a fun journey. We don't even know what they are at this point.
No,
we're just going through before we film them?
Yeah, we haven't looked them up. Some consoles will probably be a little expensive, like Dreamcast might be a little expensive.
Yep.
Because we have a smaller collection, and that console is expensive.
Yep.
So, but it doesn't have to be. Retro gaming does not have to be expensive. So, if you watch that most expensive series and you got scared, you don't have to get those games.
I think the NES one's going to be, and is, very telling. And I think when we get to OG Xbox, PS2.
Gen 6.
Yeah, I think that's going to be really cool.
GameCube's probably going to be expensive too because we have a smaller collection. But PS2, there's going to be rippers for under $10.
And our Genesis one's going to be a little rough, I think, because we collect Genesis CIB.
Yes.
So we're probably going to maybe do loose prices for that. We haven't figured that out yet. But nonetheless, it's a new mini-series. 10 cheapest games in our collection. The NES. It's in the bag. We appreciate you tuning in and subscribing to the channel. We'll catch you on the next episode of the one and only Gaming Off the Grid.